for everyone,
Yes,
especially
yes,
for girls also.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I will try my best.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, right now many students from our college are watching you. We are going YouTube live.
Ma'am, your mic is unmuted.
Yeah,
It is
sorry.
unmuted, please.
Great.
Yes, so your session will be live streamed, so many. That's why it will reach to many people, many students as well. So
That's
we
good.
are going to do this.
We need you guys to take everything forward now.
Yes.
Okay, so we are starting with the talk. A very hearty welcome to one and all present here. Welcome to the chief guest, Smita Singhal, who is the director at Absolute Water, and all the faculties.
Yes. Welcome to every participant, judges, sponsor, and the entire Cesa team.
Today we are about to start the second day of Aakar 2K22, and we are beginning with this day by interacting with an interesting personality.
Yes, and this personality is our chief guest, Smita Singhal ma'am.
Aakar. Aakar is a national level symposium which every year is conducted by the Civil Engineering Students Association, that is Cesa. Cesa is a non-profit technical organization.
It conducts various technical and non-technical events throughout the year, which helps you to develop social, technical, as well as communication skills.
And Aakar is one of such big events where you get an excellent opportunity to participate in various events, competitions, and explore your skills and talents.
So, without any further delay, I request President of Civil Engineering Student Association, Ms. Srushti Mende, to address us.
Hello Vaishnavi, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. A very hello and cheerful morning to all of you present over here. I'm very privileged to address you all on this auspicious occasion of Aakar 22, a very ionic moment of every year. And this time it's being so silver lining to our Aakar to have such fruitful interaction with Miss Smita ma'am. So this Aakar is going to be very flourishing one. Firstly, I welcome ma'am from bottom of my heart for such occasion, and we are glad to meet you. So, uh, the theme we were planning were reinforcing sustainability through innovation, and for that reason, when we got to search for the things we can do in a very social manner, including the technical and non-technical things. So there we got that water as a topic where it lies in a very deep sense that the India is facing current situation related to water crisis and the day-to-day life we are facing. So at that position, when we got to know about Smita ma'am, that is the water absolute and all the things that you have done till today, so it got inspired like anything to us. And this time we got such a pleasure to have you as our guest session, and further we are going to hear you is one of the best thing that Akar have got, that it's a cherry to our moment. And without wasting time, I would like to hear you, and uh, without being a much barrier between you and all the students of Walson College and the audience over YouTube, I'll hand over to audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Srishti. Now it's time for the best part of now it's time for the best part of session, that is the talk with Smita Singhal ma'am.
Director working in a chemical industry. She is the founder and director at Absolute Water.
She is also the director at Indo-American Chemicals Sales of portfolio of chemicals that have a multi-purpose use in powder metallurgy and lubricants.
Smita ma'am has been voted as UNDP 5 change maker toward the climate action. She is a manager, business developer, and also possesses marketing and advertising strategies.
Absolute Water Private Limited is an organization striving to clean the wastewater and make reuse of it.
They follow the replication method of cleansing the wastewater with their slogan, "We make every drop count."
Per day, 2 million liters of water gets treated with Absolute Water.
They have taken an oath to demolish the water scarcity and solve massive water problem with the help of 100% green, scientific, and eco-friendly process.
Smita ma'am's team has been successful in developing a technology which has a carbon footprint value of zero.
Can you believe it? This treated water can be reused in various ways. So let me not reveal everything about this. So I would like to hand over the mic to Smita ma'am to speak about her absolute journey of absolute water.
Thank you so much. This is such a glowing introduction by all of you. I am extremely honored to be talking today to all of you. So, very quickly, I would like to say that it has been a complete honor to be associated with your college and with all the people I have interacted with till now. So very quickly, Absolute Water Private Limited is a 6-year-old company. We basically, there was an innovation that was created by me and my father, where we basically wanted to make sewage treatment to be as nature-based as possible. There are a lot of conventional systems out there which do create a lot of sludge, has the involvement of chemicals, has the involvement of ROs, where we see a lot of wastage happening in, I'm sure you've all seen it in your homes with your RO system. So we wanted to cut all that, cut all those parameters and make it something that where you get water in its natural form without it being stripped. Where you would feel that the water that you're drinking out of this system is equal to when you go to say a hill station, and you drink water off the stream or from a waterfall. Nobody thinks twice about that. So that's the kind of we wanted to kind of replicate that or duplicate that, and nature was the biggest inspiration for us. And it is through natural media, which is stone and gravel, sand and wood chips is what we use as organic media to filter the water, and the use of vermiculture. Vermiculture is something that is basically the use of a certain kind of earthworms that basically eat up all the bacteria and pathogens that come in sewage water. The design for this also is something that was deliberated upon many a months, I would say. How do we do that? So basically, it was completely designed on gravity because we wanted to save money on electricity usage. Because we wanted to be completely different from most other conventional technologies that use a lot of electricity, because they have so many motors, they have so many pumps, and their footprint is pretty large. And aerators and stuff like that. So my technology does not use any of that. You just need so to treat 1 million liters of sewage every day, you just need 400 units of electricity and nothing more. That's literally equivalent to say 3 or 4 light bulbs in your home, not more than that. So the point is that the whole thing works on solar as well, because it needs less electricity. And the entire system, like I said before, because it is designed on gravity, you don't need that kind of pumping system at all. So, and the use of organic media was also specifically because we wanted to be completely and 100% nature based. So the first level of filtration is through that entire medium. And then we deploy something called ozonation, which is a natural disinfection in comparison to chlorination. Ozonation also can kill the COVID virus, which is now most certainly in sewage, because it is coming out of hospitals, it is coming out of COVID patient homes. it can kill 85% of the virus. And it also makes the water potable enough to be used for everything up to the point of laundry. So I am saying I'm including everything from groundwater rejuvenation, water body rejuvenation, agriculture, construction, horticulture, toilet flushing. When you get into domestic use, it goes into toilet flushing, AC cooling, for your jhadu pocha, for car washing, then as well as for laundry. So it is almost substituting 70% water from ground that you would have used for all these purposes, and you can use the treated water coming out of these plants. We call it the absolute water filter technology, which is patented and it is trademarked, because the design is something is what we have patented. And we currently have, and then we have a specialized membrane which can further treat the water to potable levels where you can drink, cook, and bathe with it. So it is currently the only green technology that can give you these many uses from one plant compared to conventional systems or other green technologies like phytoremediation or wetlands, which give you water for only one use, and that is for just groundwater recharging and nothing more. And plus, the biggest thing is that we do not create any sludge. So, which is why this system is completely circular in nature. There is no reject. There is 100% conversion of sewage to potable water. And more importantly, there is no odor that comes from most sewage treatment plants because the worms kind of do their job. They eat up all of the odor that could come out, which comes mostly out of bacteria and the pathogens that are in the sewage water. You can literally walk through a civil-based unit and you will not smell anything. And more importantly, there's no noise because there are no motors. There are only two submersible pumps. One is to pick up the sewage, to which we use a sprinkler system, again, on what we call our filter bed, where we have these stacks of organic and inorganic media. So for the pressure of the sewage to flow through those sprinkler systems so that there is an even spread of the sewage water. And the other pump is in the treated water tank to wherever the water needs to go. We have 21 plants in India right now, coming all the way from, we have installed it all the way from Ladakh, going all the way down to Kerala. So temperature is not a problem at all. Humidity is not a problem at all. Rains, heat, it doesn't make a difference. As long as the sewage keeps coming in, that's all that we really need. We have three forms of this technology. One is the civil-based unit, which I just explained. The second one, we did notice 2 years running that there is a lot of problem for space and people do want to get sewage treatment. So what do we do about space constraint? So then we designed another form of the same technology in a modular format, which is nothing but a fabricated unit, which is, say, to treat 50,000 liters, you need 5 by 5 meters square. It's vertical, and it's basically the entire system is designed in that platform, where it is a plug and play unit. You literally plug into the sewage collection tank and the water gets treated and goes straight into the treated water tank. Of course, it goes through a little bit of it also goes through ozonation, so there's a small little tank for that. But the civil work for it, then the footprint is very, very less. So that can treat from, say, 5,000 liters going all the way up to 50,000 liters of sewage. The civil base can go from, say, 20,000 liters going to 2 million liters a day. And we are very, very excited about the new variant, the technology, the model that we are going to be launching by the end of this year is, again, the first ever mobile treatment plant, which is the same exact technology, which is going to be on wheels. It is a containerized system. So just imagine a shipping container, and the shipping container has the entire technology designed in that. It is meant for, and you can take it anywhere. You can take it to places where there is, less groundwater, there is unfit water, there is, places where normal sewage treatment plants cannot be built, say because it is on a hill or because it is on a mountain or it is too hot in a desert, whatever. I mean, any number of places. That is where this mobile system goes. It can also be used for construction, where builders can have their independent source of water, where they do not extract groundwater and they don't have to buy water tankers for construction, but they just plug into the sewage line, which they already have in their area where they are going to be building. And you get construction parameter water, so you become your own independent source. That reduces their own expenses to build by almost 40%. because they spend a lot of their percentage of water on a percentage of their budget on water. So that plus for disaster management, for emergency services, like Chennai having groundwater 0 days 2 3 years ago, we plug into switch and we give them water that is fit enough for using in their homes. The Kerala floods, where a lot of the fresh water got compromised because of the floods. Kerala has a lot of wells and freshwater wells and ponds in their own homes. So we could have plugged into that and given them fresh water rather than them waiting for so many months to get that water treated or to wait for groundwater to get rejuvenated. This system can kind of meet all those problems or issues. So yeah, so that is where we are at right now. And I think design is something which, of course, you guys would definitely resonate with very well. Makes all the difference in making a technology or making a building or making a system really work. Um, but yes, we are very proud of where we are today. We're 6 years old. We are now working with WaterAid. We're working with the UN. We're working with various other government authorities, with the Punjab Water Sewerage Board, with the DDA, with all the Delhi Authority government, like the Delhi Development Authority, with the Delhi Jal Board. And more importantly, as of November last, we got impaneled by the Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation, which is the new water ministry, where we are an approved technology for sanitation and wastewater treatment. So we're getting there, wanting to make every drop count, and like Ms. Kadar said that that our mission is to break the barriers of using conventional systems and converting them into green systems, and to make sure that the water that you get is not chemically dosed, it is nature, it is in its natural form, and to make sure that India or wherever we set up our plant, that you become independent, sustainable, economically viable, financially viable, and socially viable systems. Because from this 21 plants, we're treating about 8 million liters of sewage every day, and growing, because we have obviously new plants to set up now again. And with that impact of the calculation that is normally done, we're pretty much treating about, say, 10 lakh people a day. And it's not where we're giving them access to safe, clean water in its natural form. And it's not just the social impact, it's also the impact of hygiene and sanitation, because you get good water to use and you're not dipping into drains and bad water sources. And the other one is for the environment around, the natural environment around. The soil condition gets better, the groundwater gets rejuvenated, it brings up the groundwater levels, and for the surrounding flora, fauna, it also impacts them as well, because they're also getting access to cleaner air, cleaner water. So it makes a massive impact on not just humans but everywhere else also. And that has always been our agenda. So yeah, so that is what Absolute Water does.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for explaining all of whatever you do. And your idea of using natural processes itself is very impressive. It is a very nice idea. And yes, now we will have a talk. That is, we'll ask you some questions from that we have collected from audience. So here comes the first question.
Mm-hmm.
Who has inspired you for such an innovative idea?
Well, the inspiration is the Delhi supply that I get in my home, which is mixed with sewage water. That has, I think, been the biggest inspiration for me, where I didn't want my family members or me to fall sick. And then knowing that, everybody around me is facing pretty much the same problem, because they say when it hits home is when it hits the hardest. And then you get to know, suddenly your brain is far more aware of what's happening around. Till it doesn't affect you, you always feel like, okay, it must be getting sorted. But yeah, I think that's the biggest inspiration. It's not to a person, it is to the situation that we were facing.
Yes, ma'am. Then second question is, what are your future plans about it?
So like I said, we have, sorry, complete your question.
After the Absolute Water, what are the future plans?
You mean for absolute water or for myself personally?
Yes, ma'am, you can answer as you want. Yes, you
So
can answer first of all yourself. Yes, you can tell.
myself is to make sure that this technology is far and wide, and because this is not just to be contained in India, because no one in the world is currently doing. I mean, there are many green systems out there. Of course, there are many green technologies. I'm not saying I'm the only one. But yes, what we have, I should say, we have already designed a system which is already future ready, because of the various parameters that I talked about, like what is the USP of this brand, which many don't have. More importantly, is the operation. The operation of this plant does not need any engineer, does not need anybody who's educated, does not need anybody who's skilled. I can literally get a person off the road and train them for 3 months and they'll run the plant. It is that easy to use. So that itself lends itself to be installed anywhere. What we also encourage is that when we have, for example, install this plant in Ladakh or in Kerala or in Hyderabad, the thing is, how do we make this easier? So what we do is that we try to get resources, like the media and the labor and everything, as locally sourced as possible, so that it becomes easier to maintain. You're not, the person doesn't have to be dependent on me to give you organic media, because the only maintenance that is needed for this plant is the replenishment of the organic media that has to be changed once every year. Now, what it gets turned into is a very high quality soil conditioner. So it's a very high quality fertilizer, actually, where we have several instances where we have installed where they're using the fertilizer instead of using urea, and this is a fantastic substitute for that. So you again, we are trying to we are treating water, of course, but we're also giving you chemical free fertilizer. And this is not a form of composting, but it has a lot more additional minerals and vitamins which is needed for soil growth. And we have seen a lot of good yield coming out of it as well, and it's being sold at almost 30 to 35 rupees a kilo now. So the point is that it is local is, vote for local, whatever that statement is, vocal for local. So we try to do that wherever we are. So yeah, so which is why we're able to install it anywhere in India, anywhere in the world. So yeah, I mean, there is a massive growth plan there, and we are trying to obviously research it in such a way that it becomes far more simpler to use, but not losing the essence of the technology. To the extent that I have plans maybe in 3 4 years to make DIY kits of the same thing, where you can install your own little sewage system at home. And we give you it's like a Lego, think of a Lego blocks like you get, right? You have the instruction manual and you set it up, and because it'll be that easy for you, for anyone to do that. So that is a future plan for sure, so that every household can get one. And of course, we have the launch of the mobile plant, which we have a lot of hope on, because I think it can cover a lot more ground, impact a lot more people than structured, permanent or semi-permanent plants, basically. So yeah, that's the plan, and hoping you guys can invent and come up with better plans, maybe, and then you can join my company and take the company further. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and prior to this, you said you were going to launch something at the end of this year.
Yeah, that's the
Is
mobile
it the
plant.
mobile plant?
Yes, that's
Okay.
the mobile plant. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Again, no one has ever done that. There are conventional STPs that are there, but they have to basically they need a lot of electricity to run. Plus, they are not able to what should I say, do on the spot treatment. Ours is on the spot treatment, because I can literally give you water from sewage to potability in 45 minutes. So that is the stabilization time, is what we call it technically. Where we other most of the other systems can take anywhere between 3 days to 4 days to do the same exact job. So the point is about immediate use. The point is getting immediate use of water, and which is why we're very excited about this launch. And because the technology is already proven itself, so there's no problem there. It is the design also is already in place. So yeah, now we're going to take that forward.
Yes, ma'am. That is very very impressive. So and In your life, was there any point where you decided to work for sustainability, or was it that from initially from your childhood it is your dream to do?
No, I didn't even know what I was doing in my childhood. My career path has been very what should I say? Whatever I have done till now is something that I obviously love doing. And sustainability was something that was never in my head till maybe I want to say 8 years ago. And it was more, yeah, of course, one is always environmentally conscious in your home. You don't waste water, you don't use plastic as much as possible. Like my entire home right now, I think I am pretty much 98% plastic free in my home. So same, I do the same thing in my office, and I encourage my employees and anybody I know around to do that, to the extent that I send them links of how they can convert from a plastic free home to a environmentally friendly home. But the point is that no, I mean, I'm a commerce graduate, and my initial education in terms of college was in advertising and marketing. And then I was doing that for a few years, for almost 10, 11 years. And then I got into the chemical trading business, where I set up a company in 2002, where I was the sole distributor for a company called Lonza in the US, where they make eco-friendly chemicals that basically for sintering metals, for where metal is, they use this chemical to make metal into powder, which then can be used for precision, for making precision equipment. As well as it's a lubricant as well it can also be used for nylon yarn as a lubricant. So it has several uses, but the best part is that it is residue free. It was, and does not create any harm to the environment. So that became sort of well, for the lack of a better word, progression towards sustainability, I would say. I ran the company for 18 years till they opened their own office here in Delhi, in India. So then I was like, okay, I guess I've created enough market for you guys to take over. And so 2000, yeah. So then we started this whole thing about water because it was getting quite painful. And more importantly, the sludge management in industry, food processing, dairy, sugar, all of them create a lot of sludge. And in early 2012, 2013, there was no sludge management. It was just leaching into groundwater very badly, because sludge is nothing but the kachra that comes out of when you're processing the unit. So that has a lot of bacteria, it has a lot of pathogens, it has a lot of chemicals, and you're doing nothing but creating it, and then you have no management to deal with it. So you're just picking it up and chucking it on the other side of the road. But and there was a lot of study and a lot of reports that used to come in that the community living in and around those industry were having a lot of health problems. There was everything from cancer to skin to hair loss to calcium loss because of this, because the groundwater getting leached, they're getting that same water into their pipelines. So it was like a two-pronged effect. It was, we're just not dealing with domestic, but we're dealing with industry as well. So that is basically where it all came from. So it's I would say, learning on the job, and it is something that you can keep creating. And environment is such an expanse of a universe that you can come up with so many creative ideas of how you can help the environment, basically. So yeah, I think, and as I said, I told Madhura that I don't think somewhere, anywhere, I think a degree defines your life or your education. And but of course, I mean, if you do something, do it because it makes you happy, and do it because you feel you can add value. But it should not be something that you're forced to do. And even if you're forced to do, then maybe you can use those learnings for something that you want to do later in life. That is something I completely advocate and propagate. I'm sure parents are going to kill me right now, but that's what I truly believe. That's what I initiate in my own children as well, because I feel that something that you love doing is what you really do well at, and want, it's something that makes you wake up in the morning, and you can of course make money out of that. Why not? We're not, half people here, I don't think anybody's, I mean, if they say they're doing it for charities, because they probably already have the money to back them up, and that's great. But the ones that don't, you do it for profit, but you're also doing something good for the environment, or you're doing something good for whatever it is you're contributing towards. I completely believe that. And I hope you kids have the same advantages.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, just in a rug, you just said about you make your home 98% free from plastic. So, ma'am, can you explain how do you do that, or any different method use, or what do you do exactly?
It's nothing. It's just like whatever. For example, in your kitchens, right? You have, I'm sure a lot of mums and people here can resonate with me on this. Is like, masala kahan rakhna hai, dal kahan rakhna hai, you know, that kind of stuff. And there's a whole lot of plastic. I think the biggest percentage of plastic is in your kitchen, right? So you have your dabbas, you have your bottles, you have your storage boxes, you have, all this kind of. So I have just converted all of that into glass or steel. It is not expensive. It is something that you can definitely replicate at home. And when you're buying garbage bags, make sure that they're biodegradable garbage bags. They're not exactly, yeah, they may be slightly more expensive than that, but the point is you can do that, or you can even use newspaper lining for the dry waste that comes out of your home. It doesn't have to be the liquid waste because newspapers can't hold that kind of moisture. Um, so just practical things like that. I mean, instead of buying what should I say, plastic. I mean, for your children also, if you're buying bags and stuff like that, you can buy something that has, we can go back to jute bags. We all, there was a time when I think in school we used to have those jute bags that used to have, like a satchel, and it used to have a little, closing clasp. It wasn't always polyester bags. I think that just became a practical thing because, kids make a mess. We all make a mess when we were children. So, how do you wash it every day with that? But yeah, I mean, it has its challenges, but it's just depending on how much ever you can do. So, how much ever you practically can do. I'm not saying that you have to do it everywhere, but yeah, sure. If you can reduce it even to, plastic use in your home by even 20%, 25%, you're already contributing towards the environment. So it is just whatever practically you can do. That's it.
Yes, ma'am. I think that will give the idea for audience also to reduce the plastic in their homes also. So, ma'am, next question is like you are working hard for environment means the idea that is working for environment is still not appreciated much in India. So, likewise, was there any opposition from your family or anyone from for choosing your path, like the sustainability path you are choosing?
No. So I think in this case, I think I am blessed with a family. I mean, including my parents and my husband and all my children. Is that no? I mean, this was something that is a common goal for all of us. And in my business, for example, we all run clean technology businesses. So I do Absolute Water. My brother and sister-in-law run a company called EcoWare, which is basically biodegradable tableware, which is in comparison to using thermocol or plastic plates, disposable tableware basically. And it is all made out of plant pulp or agricultural waste. Um, so we basically, and my father is a sugar technologist and a big person in the sugar industry because he has also invented many technologies for refining sugar in a natural form. He is one of the few people in the country who came up with sulfurless sugar formulation, where you don't have to. It's more or less like you're having chemical-free sugar. You must have seen a lot of packets of sugar where it says sulfurless. So that is basically, So as a family, we are somebody who want to do our best for the environment. So that way, I have been extremely lucky. The only, I think, the form of opposition I may have got is the where it is about at the end of the day you're running a business, like it's about the profitability returns, like would it make sense to launch something like a mobile unit or not. We've had several arguments on that, but I truly believe in the product and I truly believe in its impact. So yes, I am going a little bullheaded on that. But other than that, it is not the you don't kill the essence of what you're doing. That way I've had a lot of encouragement from everywhere. Yes, absolutely.
That is very nice to know that your entire family is contributing towards it.
We're trying.
Um, so, other than treating particularly water, on your personal level, do you follow some other measures for following sustainability?
Um, well, yes. For example, your like on your water tanks, there are a lot of people who still don't know how to control it. There is so much water wastage when you're there for tank overflow that I have seen like all over the country. And the thing is that no one, very few people in this world, and that's my pet peeve, is when I see a water tank overflowing. My BP goes up to I don't know what levels. And I just feel like, if you can afford it, there are these sensors that come which are not exactly very expensive. It is just about stopping the water when it's filled. Use it. And yeah, sure, everybody needs that kind of water, but you don't need to waste it. That kind of thing is something. These are small things that you can do to raise groundwater levels. So if I am living in a colony which has say 100 houses, if they had these sensors in there, can you imagine the kind of like, and every household uses nothing less than 2 to 3,000 liters of water a day. So in 100 houses, if I'm able to save 30,000 liters of water, or maybe I will half that, 15,000 liters of water, by just not letting it overflow, can you imagine the impact that one little colony can have, and then multiply it into whatever number of colonies? So, it's small things like that that can make such a difference. Things like that, and sewage and cleaning your sewage pipelines. They're constantly either blocked, or they are not working, or and just have your Delhi government or your MCDs or whatever, just have regular sewer cleaning. Is like the flow of it can be looked after, and giving people the like in Delhi, I don't know about other cities, but there, because we do it via our clients that we have. But I don't understand why the sewage that comes out of our homes, why do we need permission to treat it? I mean, it is, I'm doing you a favor so that you don't have to bring your sewer sucker lines, and people who are getting harmed by going into sewer lines, to those people, those guys who get down into those lines. It's so dangerous there. I mean, so many deaths you hear about. If I'm going to cut all that out, just give me the permission. Let me have it. If it's my home, the sewage coming out, give me the permission to treat it. Which is why, if I can do this at home every day and give small sewage treatment plants, which we already have those in process already. If not me, anybody for that matter, we could be becoming our own independent sources of water. So, and you're also encouraging sanitation, you're encouraging hygiene, and it's just making individual pockets of this. That's all. I mean, these are the two things which I personally feel, and that's what I do. But of course, I can't touch my sewage right now because I have no permission. But otherwise, I would have had this in my home a long time ago. I think the pilot would have been in my house only. And that's what frustrates me no end. So I'm hoping to put that frustration onto my clients and like, please set up one because you guys have permission. So, so things like that.
Yeah. There are some aspects where which you cannot handle personally, but
Yeah,
you so much want to do
absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
But I definitely have the sensor, and whoever I speak to, I encourage them to use it. I send them links to the purchase of these sensors because they're nothing less. They're like 800 rupees, 10,000 rupees at the maximum. But you can just imagine the amount of water you can save. I mean, like, it's insane. It's something silly, but this, at least, what is in your control, do that at least. That's what it is.
Yes, ma'am. I think everybody should do that to at least resist the overflow of water in their own house only.
I think you
So
should not just do
definitely,
it
I
in your
think
house. You girls, you guys,
yes,
this thing should do it in your colleges also, please. Since you have there,
yes, ma'am.
go up, check your water tank, see if
Sure.
they have the sensors. Ask for admin guys. See if you can
Yeah,
use
I
it.
just
Surely.
remembered. Yes, we have the water tank, elevated water reservoir in our college, and sometimes it does overflow.
Yeah,
And
yeah. That's what. Please tell your professors to look after that.
yes, we will
Yes,
surely
surely.
look into it.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, next question is: did you face any difficulties in your whole journey? Means journey. Can you
Yes,
explain
in
it?
the beginning, we did. For one simple reason is because we had designed this entire system for drinking water, right? So so we were advocating that in the beginning, and we were very adamant to push the system for the use of drinking water. Of course, India being India, we have a lot of religious and cultural sentiments. So it was getting quite a big wall for me to crack through. So basically, we had a lot of talk on this, and And even though we set up a plant for the Delhi Jal Board, and Arvind Kejriwal himself came, he inaugurated the plant. We set it up in the premises of one of the bigger plants of the DJB. He drank the water. We all drank the water. We are all fine. He's fine. So, the point is we were trying to, what should I say? So we had a lot of encouragement from that, thinking that the chief minister drank it, then dude, the entire city should be doing this. And we were really happy thinking, oh, we're going to get calls. And, now a lot of people are going to set this up with us, but nothing moved. We, for 1.5 years, we were trying really, really hard, because they were like, "Nahi, drinking pani ke liye nahi." And we've had statements like, are you expecting us to drink water right out of our toilets? Like, that is the kind of statements we used to get. And practically, if you think about it, that's pretty much what it is. But the point is that, paap lagega, you're making us sin, and how are you expecting us? I'm like, the water that you get through a regular pipeline is worse than that. Have you ever figured out that when you are maintaining your ROs at home, how often do you change the membranes in there? How often do you change? It has become far more frequent than the once a year. It has become now 3 times a year. And that's the amount of money you're spending just to make sure that your RO is working. So of course, all these, they're like, it doesn't matter. We'll, spend that kind of money. Okay, fine. So then we had some really good advice from some people we were talking to at that time. And they were like, you know what? Don't advocate drinking water. If it happens as a bonus. You basically advocate the fact that what is water needed for at the end of the day. It is not just for drinking. It is meant for so many other reasons to drink for water, right? So for all the treated water uses that we have from the various levels of filtration is what we started advocating it for. Fine, don't drink it, but let's use it for everything else, right? So from groundwater recharging to laundry to cleaning your cars to gardening to agriculture, construction, so many industries that need water, which they're not possibly consuming, but they need it for the same reasons. And that is almost, for any human being, that's almost 80% of the usage. So that is the 80% of the usage that I am currently, supplying for, or doing it for rather. So that was definitely a hurdle. And the only way that drinking water currently is being used, or the level of drinking water that we're bringing it to, is meant for industry, so that it creates a zero liquid discharge. So the effluent that comes out of, say, a sugar industry, food industry, dairy, textile, and leather, these are the 4 or 5 industries that we can most certainly set up our plants for. We recycle the effluent, bring it to potable levels, to drinking water levels, and it's put back into the system. So it becomes a very clean manufacturing process. So that is what, and it's fine. Why not? Because they are the industry that uses the maximum amount of water, and they are extracting that much amount of water. So I'm enabling that for them and enabling them to be independent water sources.
So right now, the water whatever is being treated by you, so it is not being used much for drinking.
No, it is not at all. Unfortunately.
Okay,
Yes.
so and when you were saying, what isn't this water tested in laboratory so that you
Yes.
at least have a proof that it is potable?
Yes. We have done all of that. We have got ISI certification. We
Still
have got
still
nothing.
no.
It's just the mindset. It's the mindset that I'm fighting against.
Right.
And
It
I
is the
didn't want
biggest
to.
hurdle actually in our
Yeah,
country.
exactly. So the thing is, and it's a business. So I don't want to. I can't keep fighting it, because then I will get no business. I'll have to shut it down, even though it's a brilliant technology. So we went the other way around to make it successful, and which is where I am today because of that.
And actually, this way maybe the water is being used much more for many uses, right?
Absolutely. Because drinking water, you don't need more than 6 to 8 liters of water. I'm not going to fight for those 6 to 8 liters of water. I'm going to fight for the 85 liters of water that you are extracting, and which is where the biggest water crisis is happening, because of those 85% of water that can be substituted by this treated water. I would be rather fighting for a bigger cause than just for drinking water.
Yeah, so that advice turned out to be a good one.
It was
more
really
more
fun.
advantages actually.
बिल्कुल, absolutely.
जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है.
अच्छे के लिए होता है, सही. That time you don't think, but then later on you say, that was not bad. One just has to have patience to go through the process.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, there are some. We are showing our talk live in our college. there's one hall we call Tilak Hall in our college, and there are live questions from our audience, and I would like to ask that also.
Sure.
So the first question is, did you approach anyone in central ministry to present your idea about your revolution, and what were their replies?
A very, very short answer to this. It took us 3 years to do that, and we are now impaneled by the same ministry as an approved technology for wastewater and sanitation. So
Yes.
we are impaneled technology. So we are now not just in the central system, we are also in the state system as well. So for all the tenders that come out, we are eligible to apply for all of them.
The next question is, ma'am, what do you expect from us in future India? Means about.
Well, definitely one thing I will say is that please crack the mindset. With the levels of what should I say, especially water for that matter, the biggest and most needed resource. I think I mean, air pollution is there, of course, and there is soil pollution and stuff like that. But there are various methods. Like now we have masks for air. You can still survive. I mean, in a lack of a better word, without water you cannot. So, the mindset of what I dealt with in the beginning, I am hoping that you kids are able to really take that forward and crack that mindset and not be, having all these sentiments in your head, because there are a lot of countries that are already doing it. Singapore is doing it. California is doing it. California as a state in the US is doing it. Australia is doing it. South Africa is doing it. And they've come to a point because they really had no groundwater. And a lot of their water is got a very high salination point because they're next to the ocean. You can't drink salt water from the ocean at all. You guys are right next to a coast, you know that. So the point is that you have to have water out of that. So, that is the biggest thing. And come up with, I mean, I have so much hope in you guys for one simple reason, that I can really feel that this generation, you kids can, take this thing to such a higher level and, think creative, think out of the box, right? It's not whatever padhai you've done, you have to use that only same exact thing. No, do your padhai, do your degree, you learn so many things through this course, through this degree that you guys are doing, that you can probably use, anything to do with. So civil engineering to me, specifically because I'm talking to you kids, or any engineering for that matter, actually, there's a lot of space for creativity. Okay, use the tools that you have learned, and see what you can do better with it, right? See what you can contribute back to society, see what you can contribute back to yourself, because at the end of the day, whatever you do for society is something that you're taking advantage as a person yourself, because you live in it. So I really feel, because a lot of the startups are young kids who are coming up. I feel, I don't know how old I am in compared to those kids, but I mean, it's phenomenal, the things that they do. And I'm really hoping, say, government, it encourages this. Startup India is a platform, but, to be honest, I really don't know how much of it financially, there's a lot of parameters to clear that up, which scares a lot of people. So please, you kids are brave. You kids need to be patient. It's not key your first idea should crack $1 million. No, please don't think that way. Even you start small, but that is the best way, because it is a less riskier way. Build that idea from year to year to year, make it so much so to the point that someone says, okay, we cannot do without this. We cannot do without this design. We cannot do without this technology. But it is not a slow progress, but it should be milestone based, because I think that makes a whole lot of difference when you're slightly more organized in your head, rather than saying, oh, I've got this brilliant idea, it can do this. But you know what? It is not important to just have it tested in on lab levels. It has to be tested on mass levels. It has to be tested in real time. So please make sure that whatever you're thinking, whatever your brilliant idea is that it can really work in real time, and make it work in real time yourself first, because then you'll know what all you have to fix to make it work in an effective way. And that is the journey I came from. So I truly believe you guys can definitely do it.
Yeah, and though you said that you don't need any engineers
To run the plant, not for the business. For the business, I need, for sure, because there are a lot of technical aspects of it which I have learned now. I must tell you this also. Coming from the educational background, I have literally learned a lot of this on the job while designing something like this. And it was only because I was really, really passionate about it, and I really wanted to do something. So I also feel what you learn in college or in school is the, I would say, the scholarly aspect of it, right? When you get down to really working on the job or really working on a project, is when a lot of the things that you may have learned in your books may be going literally out in the air, and you will actually start using your brain to say like, okay, fine, if this is, something that I could make better by a few or maybe if I make this deeper, then maybe the gravity would be better. Things that the invert levels can be better. These are things that are everything that you would learn on the job, and that is what will make you a far better person in terms of what you're contributing towards your job, towards your career, and of course towards the project that you're working in. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
learning on the job is learning on the
if
job.
your generation believes that our generation can do it, so it will be a
I
much greater
I
motivation and
completely believe that.
inspiration.
I completely, because my entire team, the average age of my entire team is probably 30, 32.
Oh,
So that is the average age. So there are people who are 28, there are people who are 30, 31, 32. I think I'm pretty much the oldest in it. So, and so be it. Thank God. We need one figure like that to discipline them. But the point is that it's a very young, dynamic group of people that I have. And I think the energy levels, the passion levels, it helps. It helps a lot, I think, to drive the business. I'm hoping to employ
yeah,
some.
and without using much technology, you have developed so much. Then now we people using the technology, yeah, I see what you are imagining that what we will do. It will be a much greater
Absolutely.
improvement, achievement.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is, it's like you want to start something that becomes a legacy for who you leave it behind for, right? It's almost like you're inheriting something that may have started for you, but the point is that you are taking it forward in a direction that maybe our generation or me would have not thought of. And that is what I have all my hopes pinned on you guys for that, really.
Yeah, and even if the politics from our side is good from the coming generations, then it will be a nice collaboration to start
Absolutely.
new things and keep it
Absolutely.
going.
Yeah, I'm hoping like you guys graduate, you come to me and you say, ma'am, your this could be made better because of this, and this is where we could use it. I'm like, amazing, that's fantastic. And I'm really, with every hire that I do or every intern that comes into my office, so the entire flow of work in my, specifically in my organization, is I do not direct, I do not delegate. I actually give them their independent space to grow. So if they feel that they can get me, they can get business from a certain kind of industry or the kind of relationships they can have with a certain client, I let them be. They are the ones who find the business. They are the ones who say, okay, let's go to this ministry, or we can. I have a connection here. So I'm like, go for it. I mean, they don't need. I mean, sure. I mean, we discuss it and we think whether it makes practical sense. But other than that, I'm not really, concerned about how could they think this, or maybe this is not in the budget, or maybe no. I mean, I give them the independent freedom, and that is something that a lot of places don't give, because they have such hierarchical, director saab hain to ye hain to senior. I have, by the way, I have no designations in my office. There is no designation. There is no senior, junior, medium, nothing. Everybody contributes to everything. And the one thing that I am very, very specific about is that just because, for example, you guys are civil engineers, just because you're a civil engineer does not mean that you cannot do project management, does not mean that you cannot do vendor management. Everybody learns everything in my office. That is because it's hands on for everybody. So, for example, if I have, say, Madhura in a site somewhere, and I have, say, you guys in a different space, and you have time because you're not working on other project, I will make sure you do the other parts as well, because I feel you need to be an all-rounder. Okay, you can, that way you learn so many more things for something. The civil engineering is not about just making a drawing and making sure that is being seen or being built at a site. What all does it involve? Are you talking to a steel vendor? Are you talking to a cement vendor? Are you talking to a brick vendor? Do you know what kind of products are out there, or do you just give a shopping list? So for me, it is don't give me a shopping list. You go and speak to every vendor, get the best possible rates, check the product, and get onto the project management. That is, I think, like I say, working on the job or learning on the job. That's the best way to go about it. That is what I totally encourage in my organization, because that's how I did it. So
Yes, that's absolutely right, ma'am.
Yes. And it is actually a great thought to treat equally and give equal opportunities as well. So I think you are doing a great job like doing this. And I think other companies also follow the same process as you do in your company. And ma'am, I would like to ask the next question also, which is from, as I said, from our live audience. What are the small measures can we take at home, colleges for water treatment?
first,
That's
please get
the
a water
question.
sensor. Please do that first thing. Yeah. Okay. And whenever there is, and better plumbing and pipe systems, because pipe management and is a very big thing, because it can help you from water leakages. Okay, you will, a lot of water gets leaked out because the pipes are not maintained or not done well. You can save water by that. You can save water by a water sensor. You can make rainwater harvesting tanks which are properly maintained. It is not just a big fat spot in the ground, but it's actually maintained, because then you can really use that water. So rainwater harvesting, people talk about it very casually. Sometimes I feel it is never taken seriously. Ki, "Ha, laga do bas," so you're doing your bit for environment. No, you're not, because a lot of the times what happens is that the water that gets into the rain from, I mean, it gets filled up by rain, of course, but it also is coming through the ground. If the ground is going to be leached with pollutants, there's no way you can use that rainwater naturally, right? So it's about that, and it's about tank maintenance. These are all small things that you can do, which is probably being done already, but with a little more seriousness, because I think that makes a whole, you not just give, you will always get safe water. You will always get clean water if you are able to get your tanks maintained, get them clean, check your pipes, get water sensors, have proper rainwater harvesting systems that actually work and are not just a hole in the ground. And having sensors or in for your bathrooms, for your offices, for your toilets. People should not just be in the kitchens. Biggest place is the kitchen for water wastage. you know Kind of have some sort of a routine, what should I say, maintenance system, or kind of a controlling system, where you can just sometimes people get scared that, oh, how many sensors can we put. Don't put it everywhere. Just put it in the spaces which you know for a fact पानी वेस्ट होता है. People don't care कि बर्तन धुल रहा है. It's like, somebody is putting the detergent but वो पानी चल रहा है. You're not using it. So things like that. Those specific areas, just set up a sensor system that that the amount of water which is needed to be used is being used. That's it. So these are the small things. You definitely can do it at not just your college. You can do it at your homes also. So yeah.
Ma'am, thank you for the advice, and I think everybody should do this, and it will really save a lot of water from our home. So now, ma'am, there are little bit different questions. Like you are managing one big organization, you are managing peoples and everything. I think you must be very busy in that. So there is one question of what do you do in your free time, or what are your hobbies other than your business side?
Free time, that is such a luxury. It's be No, no, I do. I am the other thing that I am very specific about. I think something that I learned from my father is that there are some sacrosanct time that you will spend with your family, with your friends, because it's important. Otherwise you'll just go bonkers. So I get home say about 3:30. I leave at 9:30. I come home by 3:30. But I make sure that from 9:30 to 3:30 I have completed all my jobs. I don't take any breaks. I don't sit and chat and gossip with my people. I mean, what will I do? But the point is that I'm not taking tea breaks, or I'm not taking an internet break, or whatever. But 9:30 to 3:30 is dedicated time, so much so that I'm able to finish all my work. I then get home, and then of course I have a full team, and I make sure they understand. I do all my meetings in the morning. Make sure that whatever it is that they need to do, or whatever they need to report to me on, it is all kind of organized by them. And more importantly, when I get home, then unless there is something important, I will maybe work for a little bit, but not all the time. So when my daughter comes back home from school, she comes home around 3:30, 3:45. I'm home. Sometimes I'm not, but that's okay. She's 7 now, so she's a pretty independent person by now, and she has her own life and activities like all parents do. But yeah, I mean, I am here when she needs me to be here, and when I spend like evening dinner, sleep time, I am always here. I have never not been here. And the same thing with my husband as well. And my elder one is in second year law school, so he has his own routine, but he's an adult now, so he doesn't need me around so much. But yes, I mean, Saturday, Sunday, I am definitely home. We do a lot of activities together. We play games, we go out, we kind of do things together. But what I love doing is baking is a big thing for me. I love it. I am a certified pastry chef also, which I did in between. And because it's a passion, it's something I really love, cooking and baking. I mean, it's of course my family gets this amazing advantage out of it, but and friends. So that is something I love doing. I love what should I say? I like reading. Of course, Netflix is on everybody's favorite thing to do. That's how I relax. I love watching mindless TV sometimes when I don't have the bandwidth to really understand what's going on the TV. So yeah, music, dancing. Although I mean, yeah, I try to find time for it. I try to find time to work out as much as possible. There are lazy days, there are happy days, inspiring days, But I don't like push myself towards doing all those things if I don't want to do it. So it's just yeah, that's my day.
Yeah, so giving time to yourself
What
is
would I
giving
do?
happiness. Huh?
You're saying
Sorry?
it's given. Sorry, what were you saying?
Giving time for yourself, I said. It's actually a good thing which makes you live long, and only then maybe you can contribute more to your ultimate
Absolutely,
goals.
absolutely, absolutely. Like they say, right? You have to look after yourself to look after others. So that is the way to go. And you have to be strict about that for yourself. I think more than any and rather than having an agenda. If you are strict about saying, okay, I need to have some time off from not thinking about work, then it'll happen. Even if it's an hour in a day, it's pretty okay. The body can do remarkable things with that 1 hour.
Yes, ma'am. I think you are doing lot of things other than your business to give your time to yourself, and that's a really nice thing. Ma'am, I think that was indeed a great talk. We just loved to have you here and have a live interaction with you. Now,
Thank you.
I would like to love from you. I would like to hear from you regarding the feedback about this today's talk, and how do you feel today, and what would you like to say about this?
No, I'm like I said earlier, I'm so happy to see far more many girls in a department like civil engineering, which I think at one time barely was there. I have in my time specifically, I barely heard. I don't think I have any friend who's a well, there are some engineers, but not civil engineers. But they've done not much with it. They've all either moved to banking or they've moved to the commerce side of things and stuff like that because they probably found it too overwhelming. But to see this kind of passion and to see this kind of fact that many other girls now are in this, it makes me really happy because I feel the whole idea of gender equality at workplaces becomes better. You have a better a better set of people to choose from for your organization because you are basically studying to be an engineer, and especially technological, be it I would think for any industry for that matters, not just technology based. But civil engineering per se is tough. It is not easy. I know a lot of people say हमें और कुछ नहीं मिला तो हम civil engineer बन गए. That is, I don't think the case anymore. So the point is that I've heard that also, but I'm like, you know what, if you can contribute towards something that is going to make a difference and you're taking it seriously, be it a guy or a girl, it's always a good part and it's always a good contribution to have. So and I think you guys have uh, the flow of this entire meeting has been really interesting. I was a little worried in the beginning. I was like, my God, how technical can I be with civil engineers? But you've made it very easy for me because you asked about it in the general manner and also about the journey, which is very easy for me to talk on. And just you guys, I mean, your encouragement, your support, your your interest in this is very, very encouraging, and I'm hoping to see you guys in the future soon, maybe in my own company, who knows. So yeah, I mean, it's been brilliant.
So
I'm very happy with the flow of things.
I feel that you really want us to join you. So
Please
it is
do
my personal question how to join you.
complete your graduation, do some physical, do some real time internships, and uh, please send in your resumes when you guys are ready to start working. We'll look at it then.
Sure, sure. I will definitely try.
I would just say get
And
a lot more practical experience before you join, not just me, anybody, because it will definitely improve your aspects, for the future for employment in terms of that. And always, always, always just think how creatively you can come up with something, because that is, I think, a great way to get into the door.
yes, right, that is. So thanks a lot, ma'am. It was a really nice session and a very interesting talk with you. And we can talk so much about it on this topic, but
Yeah,
now
absolutely.
now the time forbids me from doing so. So we'll stop the talk session.
And I think all the participants are also waiting for the event. So next, so I would request Miss Rucha, Associate Secretary of Cesa, to give a vote of thanks.
Very good morning to everyone. Good morning, Smita ma'am. Uh, it was definitely a delight to hear from you. So, on behalf of the Civil Engineering Students Association of Walton College of Engineering, Sangli, I, Rucha Mangavedekar, would like to propose the vote of thanks. Firstly, a very, very big thank you to Smita ma'am. It was the absolute founder and director at Absolute Water for taking out time from her busy schedule for all of us. It was really a great delight to hear from you. And thank you for such a knowledgeable session. And it is always an delight to hear from inspirational personalities like you. Thank you for telling us how to treat effectively water, which is such a precious resource, which also goes with our theme of Aakar 2022, that is reinforcing sustainability through innovations. Next, I would like to thank our HOD of Civil Engineering Department, SN Thande sir, and our staff advisor, Dr. A.K. Mai sir, for always supporting us with all our decisions. Next, I'd like to thank our organizing team of AAKAR, all the coordinators, chief coordinators, and the volunteers for their cumulative and collaborative efforts for this talk. And lastly, a very, very big thank you to all our patient audience out there, being inquisitive listeners. And sorry if I've forgotten to mention any name. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you,
all.
ma'am.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us, and thanks to all the students who must have witnessed this great session. And we were very much fortunate, ma'am, to have you here. And someday we are hoping to see you in person.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. And all the best for the festival, Akar. Bye bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.